Peter Miller, introduced by Professor John Morano.
Peter Miller represents the best of what happens here at Monmouth University. He has a wonderful family, and it was such an incredible pleasure to meet them. And I was having lunch with Professor Woods, who you've heard several times this evening. The first thing he said was, "You have to meet Peter Miller. You have to meet Peter Miller." He must have said it 5 times. And then he went into a huge list of Peter Miller's accomplishments, only the way Woody could do it. Peter Miller, commonly referred to in publishing circles as the literary lion, transcends those grand achievements that are in the program. Mr. Miller has taken a stand, pledging to represent meaningful projects that lead to transformation and manifest change in a positive way. For me, a quiet professor who writes novels about endangered species, I gotta tell you, Peter Miller is a bit of a rock star. He's also a visionary with regard to the revolution currently taking place in the publishing industry. He's committed to educating, inspiring, and empowering, advising aspiring authors, do something great, do something wonderful, do something brilliant. And looking at Mr. Miller's career, it's very easy to see that he practices what he preaches. So it was with great joy and incredible pride that I have the honor to present to you a first ballot Hall of Famer for induction into the inaugural class of the Communication Alumni Academy. Please welcome home our own Peter Miller.
Thank you so much. I feel honored. I haven't been in this building for 44 years, so there's a lot of nostalgia running through my brain. And first of all, thank you, Chad, for finding me, however you connected the dots with me a month or so ago. It made me begin to think about a lot of extraordinary things that happened here that I hadn't been thinking about for a long time. And being here today has given me the opportunity to reflect back on how important some of those things that happened here have been in my life and how they really set the stage for what was going to happen in my life. So let's start with when I tried out for my first play at the Woods Theater, The Time of Your Life by William Saroyan. So I needed to do something different. So I, in those days, used to wear a black flying hat, a leather cap, and I had a black flying jacket, a leather jacket, and a white scarf. And my father owned an airplane at one point, and I had an old airplane propeller of his. For some reason, I brought it to Monmouth with me from Southern Jersey. It was like on the wall of my house, so I just like having it there. So I came to audition for The Time of Your Life, and I walked up on the stage. I didn't know Lawrence K. Woods, and with this outfit and the propeller, and I get up and I say, "Does anybody out here know how to fix an airplane?" I'm carrying. Well, I got the part. I played a naked bartender, and the soliloquy that was most important at the heart of this play, I don't know whether any of you know the play by William Saroyan, was there are 24 hours in every day, and 23 and a half of those hours are spent waiting, watching, worrying, contemplating, sleeping, and we live every day for half an hour of joy. And that was, I'm trying to think of the character, Joe. I played Nick the Bard. Joe was the heart of that story. And if you think about the power of that dialogue, how many of us had a half an hour of joy today? I know that Chad didn't, because he's been on his feet all day. He was worrying all night, sending texts and emails. It's amazing that we're even here. But that was really a powerful dialogue. And then I had a professor here by the name of David Lifson, who was awe-inspiring. He was a playwright. If you look up his credits, he wrote a play called Banco. And one of the great things that I remember doing at Monmouth was reading all the great plays. And it was just amazing to to walk into the brain of Tennessee Williams or Bertolt Brecht or Luigi Pirandello, and 6 Characters in Search of an Author. I just never forgot that play. And David Lifson was an inspiration for me because he was really a great teacher. And Robert Huber, he was my teacher, and Professor Yarnchuk. And I loved Woody. Woody was a great guy, and I'm trying to think of all the wonderful students the friends that I had here. David Burke, who became a terrific director. I made his first deal for him in Hollywood. I'll never forget, he was flat broke, and I got him an unbelievable little part of his deal to go out and write Crime Story, which was a Michael Mann production. I got him a $10,000 unaccountable moving expense. So usually how it works in Hollywood is they want to get all the receipts. They want your FedEx receipts, your gas receipts. I just got him $10,000 flat. He loved that. and then it was Barry Rebo, who I went to school with here. Barry was a pioneer in the evolution of technology in terms of bringing video equipment to America. When I was going to school here, I came here in the fall of '68. Barry just started importing 3/4-inch video equipment from Japan. And then Mike Coyne was a fellow actor friend of mine in the speech and theater department. He was a great actor, and we went off to Burnsville, North Carolina with Woody to do a season of Summer Stock. So these things became part of my future because in studying plays, I never knew I was going to be a literary representative or wind up being called the Literary Lion and having sold hundreds and hundreds of books for over 40 years. But it taught me how to look at a story. And unfortunately, one of my greatest faults, I think, is being so judgmental, but I learned that because I had to make decisions about material. And I get a couple hundred people a week coming to me they want to sell me something, and I say no. I try to do it in 20 seconds or less now because I just don't have the time, because if it clicks with me, then I go out and I do what I have to do, because my life is kind of like on automatic pilot in terms of helping writers that I believe in. So I have tremendous gratitude for being a Monmouth graduate. And being here tonight is allow me to collect my thoughts. So I'm happy to be home.